You know what's kind of cool that I never used before? Remote camera operation. This little guy, look, there's me again. This whole thing lets me control the camera from where it is right now. I can change the ISO, I can adjust the f-stop. It makes it a lot easier I bet it would make it so easy if I wanted to get like that perfect shot. Like, let's say I'm filming myself outdoors and I have to go place the camera on a tripod somewhere far away, and I can just kind of be like, oh, all right, zoom in a little bit here, adjust this a little bit there, and bada bing, bada boom. It's all perfect. This is cool. This is the way of the future, man. So if you watched my last video regarding the closet cleaning thing, you saw that I mentioned in the beginning of the video that I was going to be working a shift over at Hot Topic in the Irvine Spectrum. And that reason was because my roommate is the manager and they hire people, friends and family, to go ahead and be a part of that at least for one day. You could sometimes work a little bit more seasonal depending on how long you want to be there for, but I chose one day, one night, Black Friday night, and that's when I decided to work retail. And call it blasphemous, but I kind of had fun. Now, this is something that I'll get more into why it was kind of fun a little bit later in the video, but I wanted to talk about the experience. So basically, it is one of the largest Hot Topics there is. And in fact, not necessarily in size, but more so in just sheer volume of sales. Now, you don't know much about the Irvine Spectrum. It is, and again, do not quote me on this, but the largest outdoor mall in all of America. Now, the largest mall, but the largest outdoor mall. And that makes a little bit of sense because Irvine is smack dab in California, and California doesn't rain much at all. Please send rain. But normally it doesn't. It's normally very sunny, and therefore it makes it perfect for a kind of outdoor mall. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. There's like 8 parking structures. There's a Ferris wheel. There's a carousel. There's over 100, maybe even 200 different kinds of shops. There's a Dave & Buster's. There's a movie theater, IMAX movie theater as well. It's kind of ridiculous how big this place is. It's actually one of those places I didn't really appreciate when I was younger, because when I was a young kid, you know, my allowance was like $5 every Friday, and I could save up money and buy myself a new Lego set, and I didn't really have cash to spend on nice things. And now that I'm older and have some cash to spend on nice things, I can appreciate the place a little bit more because it's definitely trying to be a more higher end area. But as a kid, I was like, this place is boring. There's nothing to do here. It's because I couldn't buy anything. But now I'm older, I can kind of appreciate it a little bit. It's a little bit posh. It's a little up there sometimes. It's not as bad as South Coast Plaza or Fashion Island, but it's got its moments. But anyway, the Hot Topic there gets a large amount of volume of people, and of course on Black Friday is an absolute madhouse. So they opened at 6 p.m. on Thanksgiving, and my shift was around 5:30 all the way to 1:30 in the morning. So it's a standard 8-hour shift, give or take. And starting off, it's pretty slow. My job was rather simple. I was a floater. I would go around, I'd go to you and be like, hey, is there anything I can help you with? Do you have any questions? And then if they said what 99% of them say, and they're just like, no, I'm just browsing, it's fine. I'd tell them, all right, no problem. All of our t-shirts are $10. If you need anything else, let me know. Sometimes they would let me know, sometimes they wouldn't. In fact, I was almost getting happy every time somebody needed something because it gave me something to do. It's kind of funny the way that works, whether you work at fast food or retail, where the slowest days are the ones that feel the worst. Like, none of us want to be just completely rammed by customers, but the days where you have maybe like 5 customers in your 8-hour shift for whatever reason it might be, those are the worst because you're just kind of there. And time goes to a crawl. So I was actually really excited when somebody was like, oh, excuse me. It's like, yes, please. What can I get for you? That was mainly my job, going on the store, asking people if they need anything, putting some stuff back that gets left out, trying to fold shirts, things like that. I was a very simple person. But what was more funny is the fact that none of the other employees there knew that I was, I don't know, me? That sounds kind of egotistical, but nobody knew that, you know, I didn't need to be there. I had my own big YouTube thing, and this was more just for the fun of it, more like a joke thing, and just kind of having a good time with it. None of them knew that. They thought I was just some random seasonal guy. So when the occasional fan came in to say, hello, Bricky, and take a picture, they always just kind of sitting there with this like, which reminds me to the fan that brought me the white Monster Energy drink. You are a king. I had this picture of Ted Cruz on my computer for so long, and I never knew why. And then it took me just a quick second as I looked a little bit closer and realized, This is why I have this picture on my computer. Oh, damn it. Did I do my candle intro? Candle intro. But as the day went on, things got much busier. And I'm saying like the line was maybe around 50 something people by that point. It was getting very busy. And the entire store was just, it was impossible to move. You had to ask your way through everybody. You had to make your way through all the clothing racks, all the people. It felt like a con. It felt like E3 or PAX. It felt like a legitimate convention because there were so many people in this store. But funny enough, my job didn't get a whole lot harder. Now, if I was an actual employee there, I assume it would have gotten much more difficult because they would have had to clean up all the shirts, clean up all the people, and work the register. But for me, I was still just going around like, hey, you need something, hey, you need something, hey, you need something. You got a pop figure you want that's way taller than you are, but not taller than me? I got you. You know, pull up a ladder, something like that. That was my job for a bit. And it really wasn't that bad. And this is where I get into that point that I wanted to mention earlier, which is retail work, or at least I haven't done a whole lot of retail work in my time. I had my job at Dairy Queen, so that's fast food work, and they're different, but they have their own similar traits to it. I've always thought that retail work and fast food service work like that are not very, they're hard, but then they're not really hard at the same time. For instance, being on your feet for 8 hours, constantly going back and forth, get your clothes, get this, that, all that kind of stuff, that is definitely a tiring job. It is physically taxing. Working as somebody at McDonald's who's doing all the burgers, who's trying to fix the ice cream machine because it's always broken, and so on. That stuff is, yes, it is physically taxing. That is hard work. However, mentally, it isn't necessarily very difficult work. You can learn how to do these jobs with only about a week or two of training, and then you'll be perfectly fine for the rest of it. You know, it's not very like mentally demanding or anything. Doing something that like I'm doing, you know, 2 YouTube channels, the Twitch stream, the merch site, all this stuff that I'm running at once, this is all self-employment. And any of you who are self-employed, you can understand this kind of feeling where when you work as retail, it's kind of relaxing because you go in, you clock in, no one does these anymore, I don't think, but you clock in, you do your job, kind of sucks, but you do your job, you clock out, and then you're free. You can relax now. Whereas something like a self-employment, you're always like, is my stuff selling well? Are things going okay? Is YouTube down? Is YouTube's monetization going bad? Is there a special thing I need this month? Did I forget something like this? You wake up stressed out, worrying, is everything going crazy? Everything gonna start crumbling? You go to bed thinking that. You're constantly in this mental state of just worrying, like, is everything, you know, am I doing everything right? And then you keep on working to make sure everything goes right. And it becomes quite taxing mentally. But, you know, depending on your job, the physical aspect may not be as difficult as actually standing for 8 hours and working on a retail or fast food job. So that's why I found it almost kind of relaxing, because I was free from that. I was free from that self-employment kind of state where, you know, even if, you know, you're doing really well with your business and you're making a lot, you're having a good time, you're very successful, it still keeps that constant, never-ending work mindset in your head, where when you work something like a retail job, you go in, you're on, you do your work, and then you're off. And then that's you time. You maybe get called in, but you can just tell them no. At least most of the time you just tell them no. So it kind of felt a little bit relaxing. It felt like the days of old, where I would go to Dairy Queen, clock in 8 hours, clock out, and I would play video games, and I wouldn't have to care because I'm just working at Dairy Queen. It would felt so much simpler, but like such a simpler time. I mean, would I do it full time? No. No, I would not. Not fun work. Not necessarily. I mean, I had some fun, but I know if I were to keep doing that, I wouldn't be enjoying myself. This is a far more enjoyable job, but it has its benefits back and forth. I consider the job I'm doing right now harder than anything I've done before. Harder than the Dairy Queen, harder than the EMT work. I consider this far harder, far more stressful, even though it's something I find also far more enjoyable. I completely love what I do. But I would definitely say that this is significantly harder than my last 2 jobs. Absolutely. But I left Hot Topic at around 2 o'clock in the morning, and I felt good. I really did. I felt like I accomplished a hard day's work. I had, my legs were tired and my feet hurt. I was in that weird, like, kind of sleepy, but kind of not sleepy because of the White Monster energy drink. A little bit of a look, But at the end, it just felt satisfying. I don't know. It feels so weird me saying this. It's kind of one of those things where you do something that kind of sucks, but you only do it once and you have a fun time doing it. Well, would you do it again? No. But at the time, it was enjoyable. I don't know. It feels good to kind of get back into the groove of things, or, the groove of what I used to do about 4 years ago. No, I thought it was a lot of fun. But now what I gotta do is I gotta start packaging merchandise, because it appears that Thick Thighs Save Lives is a very popular hoodie shirt combo type thing. Check it out if you wanna. But that's what I wanted to discuss today. I wanted to mention my experience working at this Hot Topic. It was definitely an interesting one and something that I thought would be fun to talk about. For those of you who came to see me, thank you very much. It was incredibly fun to meet all of you. Took some pictures, and all of you that came, this was very chill. I hope you survived Black Friday. A lot of places, especially out of the US, think that Black Friday is just a giant stampede of people going to Walmart. And it is, but less so down here. A little bit more civil down here, I think. But saying that there wasn't a lot of people would be me lying. So thank you, everybody. My name's been Bricky, and I will see you in the next couple of videos. Which also reminds me, all the cooking stuff, the marshmallow stuff, that will happen as soon as I move. Better place, better kitchen, easier to work with. That's on the 1st, which is Saturday. So once I get everything in and settled and set up, you can start expecting more of that very soon. All right. Appreciate it, everyone. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.